Hello and welcome back. We are here continuing our Civilization 6 run, kind of in preparation for Paradox's upcoming game Millennia, which is going to be a 4X game, not 4K game, because we always say 4K instead of 4X. Last episode, we had a bit of a pop-off in regards to the Wonders. We got the Colosseum, we got the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, and we completed the Colossus. We are working on one here, and so that was pretty nice. It was a wondrous episode, if you will. This episode, we will probably be focused largely on expansion. In the interim, we did a little bit of map tacking, my favorite thing to do with this game. Just put a bunch of things out, plan a bunch of things out, and I think we kind of have a nice opportunity here for a second industrial heartland. If in fact this is not a mountain tile. We don't know if this is a mountain tile. If it is a mountain tile, you can forget these last three here, but and maybe we don't want this one here. But this looks pretty good in terms of a complex where we are getting at some nice adjacency bonuses in a variety of spots, and we can maybe also have, if this isn't a hills, which it's not, maybe we can have some farm triangle action going on, making use of the rice. And this overall looks pretty good, and I think we're going to also look to maybe colonize over here during this episode, or at least push for the settlers required to colonize. We can settle a couple more cities over here. These guys will get mad. They'll say, don't settle near us. And then maybe we just say, yeah, you know what, sure, fine, we won't settle near you. After we take a few prime-looking cities, or one or two more cities, maybe looking to plug this gap here, kind of keen on that science spot as well as control of this pass. Because as far as I can tell, you can get in through Hattusa right here, you can get in through here, and then it's kind of just a wall. And so this area maybe is going to be strategically important. I mean, we're pretty far ahead of the AI at this point, so mainly just RPing against ourselves here. Probably should have done a higher difficulty, but that's okay. Was not really sure how well we were going to play, and so didn't want to do anything too crazy. But that's what we have kind of coming up for today in regards to what we will be focusing on. You can see some of the settlers are starting to come through. We're mainly finishing the workshop production, and after that, we will have a lot of construction available to pump out these settlers. We are doing a bit of shuffling around our dear old the Steward, Magnus, who is going to enable us to chop out stuff a little bit better, be a little bit more efficient. We want to remove this floodplains to make room for our aqueduct, and we had already removed a forest and a rice here because we are going to be plopping down a wonder right here. I forget the name of the wonder, but we are going to be doing that. So we'll just put in a wonder tile that right there, and then here we're going to be popping down this theater square district, which is going to have three adjacencies, which is going to be nice. Wonder, an entertainment complex, and another wonder. And we might even get another one if we just place down, some sort of district here at some point. And so this is going to be nice. So we do lose access to our +1 production in all cities, but that's okay. I think that we probably should be using aesthetics anyways, which is going to give us +100 theater square district adjacency bonus. We have quite a few, kind of set in over here. This one has, I think, a +2. Oh, I guess it doesn't have any bonus yet, but this one has a +4 at the very least. And we have, this one is going to have, a bigger plus once this wonder finishes. This one too. We're going to have one here. And so overall, this will give us quite a good amount of culture increase bumped up as a result of it, we are hoping. And, we are falling a little bit behind in terms of matching our culture to our science. And so this will feel pretty good. We're going to go for exploration. I don't know if we're going to try and get 2 caravels before we do this. We're not going to get a great artist anytime soon. We're probably not going to have an alliance with another civilization anytime soon. And so this means that we would have to, in the next 12 turns, maybe get 2 caravels. And okay, we could buy some caravels, but I don't think that this is necessarily worth it. Oh, can we not even buy caravels? We don't even have access to the tech. So I think we're just going to push through and get Merchant Republic, which we would rather have anyways. Plus 15% production towards districts. We're just trying to build up and chill. We're on monarchy right now, and this would be a little bit preferable. We're really not making very good use of monarchy. +1 housing per level of walls. We don't really have walls in too many spots. Plus 50% influence points. We have a lot of influence points, and so we do want to swap off to Merchant Republic, so that's probably what we'll do. So we have claimed the hero Himiko for ourselves, who's going to help us to, gain some suzerainty over some guys. if we come over here, we will see target any adjacent city-state. She immediately places 1 free envoy in the city-state. If you are already suzerain there, she earns 300 faith, costs 1 charge, and ends the turn. And so we do have a place where we are suzerain of, where we are only suzerain because of the messenger, and that is Geneva. And this is far away from us. Generally, when you put envoys, you have to remember that every envoy you put will... here, we're probably going to transfer her to another city rather than walking her ass over here. But whenever you put down an envoy in a city, it will expand the city's borders. And so, for example, we maybe would not want to do that too much with Rapa Nui, whom we are kind of sharing resources with a little bit with Philadelphia. You know, maybe Rapa Nui grabs that rice, which we would rather grab for... Actually, let's just grab it for Philadelphia, just to be... well... 31 turns. We just have to hope no one else sends an envoy to Rapa Nui. We're not going to send an envoy to Rapa Nui. We're not going to recruit a great rider, and so we should be able to get that rice. But anyways, the point is I think we're going to relocate her on over, towards here, and then have her walk to Geneva and put in a couple on Geneva. We just have to make sure and consider that we can use... We have 48 turns with her, so we want to make sure that we can use all 8. We're going to use 2 in Geneva, I think, which will give us some faith and will allow us to move Governor Amani while still maintaining suzerainty over Geneva. I think that this is good, so why don't we move her immediately to... Oh, looks like we can't move her to Houston. Houston, we have a problem, so we'll move her to LA. Well, can she make it to LA in 1 turn? Anyways? No, she'd make it to LA in 2 turns, so we can use the city move mechanic and get there a little bit faster. Loud cars, big nice, and we are going to... I think we'll just attack across the river and not look to get too cute with it. But we are going to be putting these down soon. We have more than enough forces in that area to quite handle them. This is stranger danger here. I think, well, we kind of don't want to get in the way of the volcano, but maybe we can run away this way? Alright, let's try running away that way. But she will be a nice addition, and coming in soon-ish, soon TM, will be Maui. We are going to, in San Francisco, which just built Himiko, build a temple district down here. It's going to have a nice +4 adjacency. 3 from the mountains, and then 1 from having 2 forests adjacent to it. For this forest, we're just going to keep it all natural, and instead, put down a very nice... what is this, national park sometime later, so we'll keep that in mind. And then for this one, we'll put in a sawmill, so that'll be good fun. It is time to spread our faith. The crabistry of the crabism religion will be sent to Bologna, which notably does give us an envoy, and we get an additional envoy from them because of our, our faith bonus here, our religion bonus, +1 envoy at each city-state when it first adopts your religion, in addition to the envoy from a city-state quest. So we will have gotten 2 envoys from Bologna there. We can take a look if we kind of come in here, and then we scroll down. We now have 5 envoys there. So that's pretty nice. We'll continue to spread our crabism to all places, all corners of the earth. Crabs for everyone. So we are evangelizing our faith, the crab religion, and I think that... I mean, it's really tempting to cities with this religion in place if founded by a player who has this as the majority religion. Well, here's the problem. We don't really have it as a majority religion yet. This is maybe not going to be that useful for spreading, the faith of the crab. And we're getting amenities. I guess spreading the faith is maybe not so important. Religious spread from adjacent city pressure is 25% stronger. Maybe this is okay. Maybe we want the mosques, something like this. They get 1 more spread, and also we get some faith. Something, I'm not really sure. I usually don't play too heavy into the faith game. And so, this is actually a little bit of a tough decision. I think we don't really want the spread further away. Religious colonization would be good if we had founded the religion a lot earlier, but it's not even a majority thing. And so I think that we might just go with mosque, which will allow the construction of mosques, and also we will, be able to spread one additional time. And so we kind of get the best of both worlds, and, we could try and make better use of religious unity by getting an additional spread. I mean, like, it's possible that scripture is good for the same reason, or that even, itinerant preachers, but this seems perhaps like it's going to be the most consistent one, so we will choose that for our faith. So this is going to be a busy turn for us. We unlock exploration. We, of course, will swap to the Merchant Republic, which is going to be nice for us. Extra production towards districts is going to be especially useful, when we are benefiting so much, when we're going so industrial heavy industrial zones. We will get construction towards that first industrial zone, and then on top of that, once we have the industrial zone, things will look pretty good. I'm a little bit tempted to slot in here the extra science. We have a few, well, actually we don't really have that many science places. I think we might just do newly trained builders, gain 2 extra build actions, and look to buy a few builders over the course of however long we have these policies in. I think this is going to be pretty good considering we have a good amount of gold. We also have been repeatedly using dear Himiko here, and she has been putting in more and more envoys here in Geneva. We don't quite have 6, but I think we have 5 right now. We might move her around somewhere else, instead put her in Hong Kong or Singapore, something like this. But because of that, we have been able to just recruit another apostle here, and so we're going to continue evangelizing our beliefs, and so we will get a little bit of a choice here. And I guess perhaps it was the case that we wanted to, spread. We wanted to pick maybe these 2 together. Actually, would have been a little bit better than getting mosques, but it's not too big a deal. We can't get another one of these. We don't want to go with religious colonization because we're not even majority religion, so this isn't going to be useful. And so I think we might just go scripture and look to get some faster spread, something like this. And so we can seed it with our missionaries and apostles, and then look to spread it with the scripture. So I think this will be good. And we finish. Theologians clarify the tenets of crabism and its beliefs. Holy crabistry. Okay, so, and then we will be kind of going for looking to make sure that we... I'm not sure we're going to get a great artist anytime soon. I don't think we're earning any points towards them, and so I don't think that's going to be the case. But we are starting to build up a little bit more in regards to the temples and this type of thing. But the other thing we wanted to discuss is we got 2 settlers coming out. This one is coming on over here to secure this land here. We might even build an encampment here. That would be kind of a little bit of a naughty thing, right? And I think it'd be a good spot for an encampment. We have an encampment coming down here right in the pass, and so having an encampment right by the pass, it's completely unnecessary because we're very strong, but it is nice and themey. So I think given the geography, if we're trying to play to the geography, it's pretty nice. We're also going to get some wild adjacency bonuses here after we settle here, but we might not be settling there in the near future. We'll see how people respond to us settling here, and if they ask us to stop settling near them, we will maybe cut it out for a little bit. I think we could settle here safely. I don't think they consider that near them because, I mean, it's obviously near us. And then we have another settler coming in kind of over here. I think we're going to go for this duo here, which is going to be able to get out a lot of construction, and this one will be able to make good use of, the volcano tiles, which are giving really fat bonuses if we hover them. Well, I guess maybe this volcano tile is not too good, but like this one. So we might work this tile pretty early, giving 2 science and 3 food, something like this. We also want to settle here, but that's kind of like a little bit of a risky one to make use of the Galapagos at least a little bit, and so, that's kind of what's going on right now. Well, it looks like good old Harold has declared war on our suzerain of Nalanda, and I don't really think there's a whole lot we can do about it. It looks like he's going to take it before we even would have the slightest chance of getting troops there. I mean, this is our closest troop, and then, like, there's just too much. And maybe we can liberate them at some point in time later, but almost certainly they take the city. Perhaps they raise it, which would not be very nice of them, but it's not looking good for Nalanda.
As the sacrifice passed each of the 4 rooms dedicated to the sun god, the sun disappeared or reappeared in the sky.
So we get Hui Tukali, which is going to greatly improve all of our lake slots. We also recruited Maui, kind of at a little bit of a loss of the best way to, you know, recruit or use Maui. Oh, we have to use an unowned plot. So this is going to be a bit interesting. We are going to want to put him in places we don't own. I guess what we're going to try and do here is we are going to try and push and see and hope we create a bonus resource of like maize right here or something like this. It has to be in an unowned plot. That's so interesting. But what it does is it creates a bonus resource of some kind. A bonus or strategic resource or whatever it is like this, and so hopefully he comes here and he like produces maize. That way we'll have a really nice farm triangle. I guess we'll move him back over here and maybe do the same right here to try and get as good a farm triangle as possible. As far as like rolling with Maui goes, it's a bit of an interesting one. Not exactly sure how we're supposed to play. Okay, so we newly gained access to invention, which is going to be absolutely spectacular for us. We are making use of a ton of industrial centers, and we have a ton of workshops already. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that one in order to make room for making a whole bunch of great engineers, hopefully speaking. And I think other than that, this looks pretty good for us with what we're doing. We are still getting the theater square adjacency bonuses. I mean, maybe there's something a little bit better than what we can do, or something better that we can do with that. We are also working on getting more slots because we started working on the Forbidden City in this place here, which is going to be nice. Could have worked on a settler, but we do have our company for wine here, which is going to give 20% culture, and so it's going to effectively give just a little bit more culture on the Forbidden City, and so that's why we kind of made this adjustment. We don't have too many more settlers coming in. We just have one kind of that we recruited that we are sending off to over here to settle here maybe. Perhaps we want to just kind of get a little bit closer and then make a decision where we want to settle. We did get a warning, please don't settle near us, and we're just going to listen to him after settling Cleveland, this guy, so we're just got to wait. I think it's like 30 turns, or it's probably more because we're on the super slow mode, but we're going to be settling over here for now, and also moving some military over here. You can see we got several men-at-arms just kind of smattering around, because we're not too happy with what happened with, you know, Nalanda, and so we maybe want to denounce this gentleman and then, you know, make a casus belli and try and release a Nalanda at some point in the near-ish future. This is kind of interesting. We can move a ton of military over there. Was not a fan of that. And maybe other people will like us more for that. Currently, we don't have too many friends, though, and these guys don't want to declare friendship. They can't put Gaelic life in our hands, and neither does this guy, although at this point, we maybe don't want to be friends with him anyway. He's aggrieved us. Alright, let's try this Maui thing and just hope that we get corn. Well, I guess citrus is not terrible, but that does ruin our idea of having a farm triangle. That's a little bit of a, well, I mean, we don't hate it because we don't have like a citrus thing, and so like, I guess it's fine, but maybe we don't want to do it where maybe we don't want to do that where we are thinking we're going to get farm triangles. Also, maybe we want to do it on hills. Or is it just completely random? It's not even, there's not even citrus on this continent, I don't think. So I guess it must be completely random. So maybe we take Maui down here and just we have him cruise through a couple of these tiles that we know we're going to develop or something like this. And we'll do this on subsequent turns, because we can just reorganize them to another place. But this is unfortunate. Kills our farm triangle. I mean, obviously, I think we would prefer to have the luxury resource, and so I guess to some extent this is okay. And we will be ready to improve it, you know, just as soon as it spawns. Which we were ready to make that farm triangle. I mean, I suppose it's better than the maze, but it would have been better just to put that, like, over here, right? And get the citrus here, and then still be able to do our farm triangle. So I guess we won't try and farm triangle it up again. By the way, what we mean by the farm triangle is they get +1 bonus food, extra bonus food, if they have 2 adjacent farms, and so you just make triangles of 3, or, like, bigger triangles in order to get a bigger bonus, and then I think the bonus after a certain attack gets doubled, something like this, and so this is why you kind of want to do that. that. And so we will be doing a farm triangle over here, which means we will be foregoing an aqueduct in Cleveland. I think it's okay though, because I think we'll be able to get a really high, breathtaking neighborhood at some point, and maybe we don't want Cleveland to grow super huge anyways. And without the aqueduct, I think we will not be making an industrial sector. We'll probably be making, you know, a science center, a temple, and then also an encampment, probably right here. If we buy the tile, we should probably buy the tile soon, otherwise they're gonna swoop in. So let's, you know, just purchase the tile now, because we will want to put right there a big fat, and then, speaking of, this guy has 5 charges, Magnus is already in the city. We'll probably chop out, you know, something and then make use of that, and probably have the encampment and the, you know, the science center be next here, and then have this little farm triangle, but probably have Houston eat one of these and Los Angeles eat one of these, and so Cleveland won't be getting a ton of food, but each of these, you know, Houston and LA will be getting a decent amount of food from that. Well, that's not a deal. A mega colossal eruption damages a tile and kills 2 civilians. I don't think we like that, but on the other hand, we might like that. We might like that because these things are starting to get real fat. Look at that. 3 science, 4 food, 6 production, 1 food, 6, or sorry, 1 production, 6 food, 5 and 5. Oh baby, oh my Lanta. That is a big ass thing. So we will be repairing this. And yeah, man, it's very interesting. So I think we will, you know, move Maui over here so we can transfer him to another city. We'll look to start transferring him on down over here-ish, and he's going to put in a few more things. Interesting, not sure how we feel. Yeah, still, well, we know how we feel, but we feel silly for what we've done. We also, we can't change policies. We forgot to change policies. We wanted to change policies. Terrible. We wanted to change policies because we wanted to get Auckland in kind of our sphere of influence, but we are going to need 3 convoys in order to do that. We do not have 3 convoys. We have 2, so we wanted to slot in the card. That gives you, that gives you, well, we have 4. We could send just 3. I think that because we have Auckland and the other one at 0, what we want to do is we want to get to the point where we can slot in the card that gives us 2 for the very first one, and then send in on Auckland and the other place. And then with the 4, we will actually be able to get 2 suzerains. And it's about time for us to found a city here, which is going to be a fairly good city. We might even steal this one of these really good tiles for that city, so it can grow nice and fast. It's not going to get any of the tiles over here, but it's going to have a nice like pocket here for having either a science, or probably the science goes over here, but science and or temple. And it's also going to have access to, you know, probably a really good aqueduct and what is it, dam sort of complex with another city somewhere in here. Haven't decided exactly where to put it. Could probably just put the city, the next city kind of over here on this lip here, which might be kind of foregoing a little bit of space over here. I suppose we could put a city out here if we wanted, but we will get like a lot of use out of the land, and then we will still have, you know, space. Well, that creates a little bit of a problem over here. We maybe need to have a little bit of a think here. I mean, this is the very closest to the left we can make the city, and then if we make the city here, this is going to be kind of the closest tile, other than, I guess we could put in right here, but then we can't make a dam, and it won't be adjacent to the water. We have the city-state where it makes it so it doesn't matter, but if we put in a city here, then we're going to have 3 spaces, so the next closest city we can put in will be right here, which is maybe not a terrible city. We put in right here, and then we put in probably right here, we put in a holy site, because it's going to get a +2 adjacency from the wonder, and an additional ones here, and then maybe we put in, yeah, okay, this is maybe okay. It's not the best. We could even put in an aqueduct here, which is kind of amusing. But yeah, it's going to be heavily reliant on, you know, having also putting in here probably a harbor, something like this. And then here we can do the little industrial kind of zone thing. We will be foregoing, you know, speaking of farm triangles, like this would be a good spot for our farm triangle, but you know, we would be, well, actually, we could make a mega farm triangle here, right? Maybe we don't need to make every place into a military-industrial complex, because we could put 2 farm triangles next to each other here, right? So farm, 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 farm. And I believe the bonuses, like, stack. So if we put a bunch of farms all around here, right? We will see, you can see the smart map tax will make it +1, +1, +1. And then when you add another one, they all swap to +2. So that's what we mean by having a triangle. However, if we add more, big more, as it were, now this one gets +3, and so this tile gets really, really good. I think it's probably not worth it overall to like push the farms this much, but it is a bit interesting that you can do it. So I think just the first triangle is kind of what you want to do. But what this means is we can't do this sort of aqueduct sort of shtick that we have been doing this entire run, where we are just, you know, doing aqueduct, industrial zone, really fat industrial zones. This is all we care about type of thing. And then, you know, right here we could put in a dam, probably. I think that, nope, it violates the dam rules. Darn, it violates the dam rules. Don't you hate it when the darn dam violates the dam rules? Terrible. So we could put a dam here, and then we would get a +8, something like this, and this looks fairly good, you know, in terms of what we're thinking. And then we get another, like, we kind of wish the city was over 1, but there's not much we could do about it, unless we just wanted to have this city right here, not make use of, like, getting an aqueduct and getting on the river and getting, like, all this. I think it's too big a trade-off to make this city worse in order to make this city here a bit better. And then this will be kind of as far as we push over in this direction, but we won't push these right now because we told this guy we wouldn't settle near him for a while. And so I do think, though, that we kind of lock in that we want this city here, I think. Because we want to be able to make use of these tiles down here, otherwise they're just going to go to waste. Because, well, New York can use them, Boston can use them. Oh, man, so there's a lot to think through, because then we could put a city up here, right? And then we would get another city, like, right here, somewhere down here, something like this. So if we put a city here, and then we put a city here, and then we could put a city, no, it's still, well, actually, no, that is correct. We could put a city here, here, and here instead of what we're looking at right now. We'll have to have a little bit of a think, actually. Okay, so this is the other setup we can do, and I think I actually like this one a little bit better. Instead of settling right down here, you know, we are going to kind of forego a couple tiles, like, I think, actually no, we're not foregoing any tiles. We will get to use all the tiles, and then we will get, you know, we will be able to do a sort of industrial complex here, and on top of that, we will have a nice farm triangle that will benefit from the maize and the rice and this, and we can distribute one, you know, well, this place will get double farmed out, right? So they'll get 2 farms, but we can distribute this grain over to here, which will probably be relatively food starved in this further city, and so this is going to turn out quite nicely. We won't need that anymore, but we can come in and we could put in a harbor down here instead, which will be a nice +3 harbor. Why it can't be placed on a reef? Just kidding. Oh, does that mean no harbor for us? That's a little bit disappointing. I didn't realize that was a reef. It is a reef, though, which maybe makes the city where it's won over just a little bit better. We will lose access to the farm. Not sure exactly where we want to put the city then, because we will... So we'll lose access to this farm if we move it over here, but it's not the end of the world. But either way, I think I do like this setup better because we are getting the nice farm triangle, and on top of that, you know, getting a nice industrial complex, making use of all the tiles, and so I think this one's a little bit better. I'm not sure which of these 2 cities is better. I think we just want to found whichever one's better because the settlers kind of equidistant amongst them, and so it's not really going to make too big a difference. I think we'll maybe just go for the farm triangle one, because it will be kind of faster to get up and going, and then once that one's going, they can make the dam, and they can already have the other stuff kind of set up for the new city, and I think that this will be a fairly good shout. and then we will need a builder over there in order to actually execute the farm. But then the city will be able to grow really, really fast. And so I think I like the overall sound of this for this expansion spot in particular. We hope that this doesn't upset this one guy. Maybe it's going to, and then we'll get our like, oh, you violated a peace treaty, oh no, type of thing. But hopefully that's not going to be the case. So we decided to found a city right here. We have a worker coming on in. They can make the mine really quick. They can chop this out after we send over Magnus. Red Rover send Magnus right over for the little bit better on the chops. And so this is going to be nice. And it will also give us a base that's, I think we want to start working on some ones that are actually going to have fairly decent industrial districts. But we are still kind of moving on troops over in anticipation of maybe liberating Nalanda. Not entirely sure. This is probably not like worth it to really focus on, but is maybe themey enough and like, well, we're interested. World Police time to play America, and so we will found Buffalo. And so with that, I think we're going to conclude this episode. We have settled new lands here, kind of moving on to this little mini continent. We have a bunch of cities planned out here that are going to look fairly good. Can we squeeze another city right there? I think we can. Let's see if we can tack down another potential city right there, right? Okay, perfect. So looks like we can squeeze, quite a few cities onto this one little snippet of land, which will be the new land, the new opportunity. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total cities on here on top of Mexico. We do not want to get suzerainty over Mexico until we've kind of made sure that we secure kind of the resources we want. So after we make this city, for example, we'll buy this tile. After we make this city, we might buy a couple of these tiles or look to push the tiles and then get suzerainty, because every time we put in a diplomat, their borders expand and we don't want to lose stuff to them, but we do want to gain suzerainty over them. So we kind of have this little expansion spot, sorted out now that our neighbors to the right have been like, no, stop settling. We still have dreams of a future industrial area over here. But also, we settled up here in Charleston. I'm not going to push over for this one quite yet, but I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring this guy back and eventually upgrade him to musketmen, because then we can get the square rigging Eureka bonus if we maybe... I'm trying to think if it's worth it to slot it in. If we have a bunch of these, it might be worth it. Nah, it's probably not worth it to slot in just for that. So we will try and use this musketman to take this down, so we get the square rigging bonus. But in any case, I think we're going to conclude the episode here. This episode, we have been mainly focused on... We also got Cleveland this episode, too. We've been mainly focused on, expanding the borders, trying to, discover new lands, this sort of thing. We still have a few trailing off. We got a couple settlers coming on in. But after that, we're probably going to, focus more on industrialization and sort of an inward boom. You see, we have a couple of these industrial centers coming in. We have so much military, and we haven't built any. We just have a ton of these men-at-arms, and I'm assuming these will give musketmen now, so we're just going to have this absolutely huge military. In terms of mil score, comparing us to the rest of the world, we have 850, the next guy is 360, and then everyone after that doesn't believe in it. I think it might be the mode that people are just sacrificing all their units to the gods, via the like hyper disaster mode, which is you to get soothsayers and stuff. I forget exactly what the name of this mechanic is, and so maybe this is what's going on and why they have like 0 military except for this guy. So if this is the only guy with military, maybe we should just fight him. We could certainly just like roll over a lot of these guys, but we're just trying to play through, and do our own thing here, more so than anything, and just kind of get through the tech tree, and then, we'll see from there. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. YouTube, algo. Yep. Toodaloo.